What still hurts, though, is losing like you did yesterday if you're the New Orleans Saints. A game that creepily, I can say that because it's Halloween, but kind of scarily like the day before, it felt so similar. A lot of missed opportunities. Yet a game where you still had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. In the Saints game, it was even wilder because, you were midway through the fourth, and you had that 11-point lead. Like, it looked like it was all good. The two-quarterback system is somehow working on the NFL level. Taysom Hill had one of the coolest touchdown runs you'll see all season long. Defense kicking ass. Everything is going according to plan. And then all of a sudden, like a lightning bolt, it just wasn't. Saquon Barkley gets out. Two-point conversion.
Yeah, they made him look like the player that the Giants thought they were drafting in the top 5 of the draft, and he hasn't looked like that all year long. Yeah. And I know he's come back from injury, so I'm not saying like he's a bad player.
And the Giants are bad, but yeah.
But he hasn't looked like that. Like he had a different gear, and the Saints allowed him to go off. And when you look at who they have at receiver, knowing that Saquon's really going to be their only option for a lot of the game, like I was surprised that he had that much success against. Yeah. And also with the options the Saints have and making sure that doesn't happen.
Well, interestingly, too, I think Marshawn Lattimore was actually in on coverage on Barkley on that play, and he got confused.
He was. It was a busted deal, and he got a step behind, and then it was too late. But
okay, so you mentioned just then kind of the big plays and how they killed you this game. And, make no mistake, big plays are why the Saints lost this game. It's a bit ironic because coming into this game, the Saints were one of the best teams in the NFL in this regard. Here's a crazy stat that this was either in an Underhill or Luke Johnson piece, but credit to both those guys. They're both awesome. But coming into this game, in the first 3 games, the Saints had allowed just 8 plays of 20 yards or more. The longest play of the season was 32 yards. Yesterday, the Saints allowed 8 plays of 20 yards or more, including 2 plays over 50. So you matched your season total in one game from the first 3 and by far exceeded your biggest play of the season, not once, but twice. So, yeah, it was just kind of against the 0-3 Giants, a team, to continue with the irony here, missing their top 2 targets in Slayton and, why am I blanking? Sterling Shepard. No, why am I blanking?
Yeah.
Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, you're right.
Missing your top 2 targets. So, just again, missed opportunities. You had the 0-3 Giants halfway through the fourth quarter, dead to rights. You're staring 3-1 in the face. Dome Cummings a dub. And then it just gives you such an appreciation. And I'm, after I saw the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson clip on Friday, I immediately went and put a few bucks on the Saints, and I'm feeling good. I'm like, it's going to pay off. It just gives you an appreciation for how good everybody in the NFL is and how lightning fast these things can change.
There are so many things, too, that you liked from the Saints. Like, I thought Jameis Winston was efficient, right? Yep. I thought he took care of the football. I thought he was locked in, throws for over 200 yards.
The throw to Stills, too, was so good. The touchdown that got called back was great.
Alvin Kamara, you finally, got a chance to run the football, establish a run. You get him over 120 yards on 26 carries. Taysom Hill came in with 2 tugs, and he was efficient. I know he had the interception there, but he also had some receiving yards. Callaway was the big play threat that we talked about in the offseason with that 58-yarder. All these things, and you're like, man, if you would have said these things would happen, the Saints surely win the game. I think one of the biggest stories of the game was the lack of pressure on Jones. When you look at him, he wasn't sacked in this contest. He was sitting back there on 40 pass attempts, and he's not sacked against a bad offensive line and throws for over 400 yards. That, to me, was the difference in the game because offensively, you only scored 21 points, but I thought you did some of the things that you haven't been able to do to this point.
Yeah, look, and then Sean Payton, I feel weird critiquing anything Sean Payton does because I mean this very literally. He will forget more football twice over than I will ever know in my entire life. But there were a couple things, like the challenge that he had that was clearly a tilted challenge. Like there was no need for that second down spot challenge, or it would have been, 3rd and short or something. It was just a weird challenge. And then I did kind of love he just wanted to show you why Jameis Winston beat Taysom Hill in the quarterback competition, where you threw the deep ball with Winston and it was a touchdown. It was a huge play. They take it back because of the hold, and then they tried to get a little too kind of, what's the word? A little too tricksy, right? In that we're going to put Taysom Hill in, make him think it's going to run, but no, he's going to bomb it. And then you saw why Taysom Hill lost competition. He can't throw a deep ball, and it gets picked off. So just a couple little critique moments, I think, there for Payton. Also, I don't understand the delay game with 3 minutes left. Why? Why not use a timeout there? That was really weird to make it from 2nd and 9 to 2nd and 14. That's just odd. One thing I'm looking for going forward, Jake, is, look, Winston completed 13 passes in a row. He was really good this game. And I understand that right now they are really erring on the side of conservatism with Winston, right? Like they are being painful. We want to win running the ball, playing defense, and Winston doing just enough. Eventually, they're going to have to throw him like 30 to 35 times if they want to win some games. And so I just wonder, in what part of the process do they start to open it up a bit?
Yeah, because to your point, if Jameis is going to be your guy and you play that conservative, then you lose one of his biggest skill sets, which is throwing the ball down the field and making big plays. And I understand you want to keep his confidence high and you want to make sure you're taking care of the football. And we saw when he can get a little reckless against the Panthers, what kind of can happen when he just throws the ball up. But you're going to have to, at some point, just let him go out there and be himself to see if you can, now you got to hope that you coach some of those bad decisions out of him. Even when he threw the touchdown last week, I thought it was good to see Sean Payton be like, hey, it's a touchdown, but don't do that again.
It's God's hands.
Right? So you got to let him loose a little bit. This isn't a rookie quarterback. This is someone that's in his 7th year in the NFL. Like, at some point, you've got to let him be the player and play to his strengths, and knowing that, yeah, you had the chance of him doing what he did, but you brought him in knowing what you've done with quarterback to try to coach that out of him, and you got to believe in your coaching that you've done that.
Do you think it's maybe when Mike Thomas returns? Because when I'm looking right now, the weapons leave a bit to be desired. But when Mike Thomas is back, Thomas, Deontay Harris, and Alvin Kamara is a pretty good trio. I mean, it's not great. It's not the best, but like that's pretty solid. I guess I'm just wondering, like, if I was going to open things up more, it would make sense kind of when Thomas returns and you have some better options potentially. And you just want to throw the ball more because you want to take advantage of Mike Thomas. I think you're also still obviously continuing to miss Will Lutz. Rosas now missed 3 in a row. Granted, was it 58, 57, something like that. And I feel bad for Rosas. He's just got a face where he kind of looks like constantly squinty and constipated a little bit. And then when he misses and he gets disappointed, it just kind of reinforces all of those features a bit. Who's the meme of the guy in the pink suit at the car light where he's like this? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Anybody have any clue?
I don't.
Okay, I'll show you during the break.
Like, while you were talking, I was thinking of the scene in Step Brothers. Like, I don't know what it is about your face. He's like, is there anything I can do about it? He's like, no. It's like, okay.
I unfortunately have that a little bit towards Rosas, and I feel bad because it's something that he's.
I don't know what it is about you. I want to punch you right in the face.
Except for miss kicks. All right, more on TV next. Keep it locked.